Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt, man! All right! Episode 96 of Shirt Show. We're talking with Ryan from Covered in Ink in Colorado. Let's go!
Hey there, Cutie Patootie.
Hey there. How have you been, man? It's been, what, a week?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, though, we have spoken every single day.
Yes.
And by spoken, I mean cried.
Yeah, a few times.
So here's the thing. Like, we're going to talk a little bit about me with our guest. So I figured that I'll sum up my week real quick, and then we'll go to you. So here is my week. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, week. And then Chris Rock meme. That's all.
Right.
I'm
slapped.
Yeah, I'm not the slapper.
You're Chris
I'm
Rock. Ryan is Will Smith.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I mean, that's what everybody's talking about. And I felt a lot like that. But hey, you know what they say? I think they say without pain, there isn't growth. If they don't say that, they should.
That's that's an S&M thing.
Oh, okay.
You don't grow unless you get beat up.
Well, that's what happened here. And
My
so
case.
we haven't grown yet. We're just a little bit beat up, but we know, Dylan, shut up. Pretend this didn't happen. By the way, I haven't told you this part. I haven't told you this yet.
Okay.
Last week, I made the Zoom invitation, for whatever reason. I couldn't find Chad's. And so I made one real quick. I sent it to you. I'm supposed to save it to the computer, and I accidentally saved it to the cloud, which is fine. It's all good. Don't look worried. I saved it to the cloud, which was mistake number one. And because of that mistake, I think the resolution is kind of crummy. It's not quite HD. It's called low LD. And also as a consequence, you know how we have a split screen right now?
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, like when you talk, it's all you.
Mm-hmm.
When I talk, it's all me. It was like set on speaker. And I swear to God, I would never, as we were doing it, it was split screen for you, wasn't it? Like you saw me and you saw you the whole time?
Yeah.
You did? Yeah. Same here. Like I was
wondering why the pregame looked different.
Yeah. It's like only me or only you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it says our names at the bottom.
I don't know, man. Like that's just the way. So it'll be a weird, for those who watch, which most people listen, so you'll never know or care. But for those who watch, it's going to be a little weird. It's going to be a lot of Dylan, a big screen of you and a big screen of me. Like Chad said, he had to cut out some parts, like when I held the Dylan shirt, like the shirt up, I held it up and it was, I think you were talking. And so like, it never showed the shirt.
Oh,
I know. So, do I have it here? Fuck, I better. Dude, okay, here we go. Second time's a charm.
Mm-hmm. Look at that beautiful white print. Oh, yeah, there I am.
That's a monarch right there.
Mm-hmm. You look really handsome in that flannel, bud.
Thanks. What? Oh, check. Fuck, yeah, check.
Does it have buttons or snaps? Little snappy snaps.
It's buttons.
Whoa, you have no shirt on underneath?
No, it's come on, dude.
Oh, I thought that was your skin.
Yeah, I wear a flannel with no t-shirt underneath.
That's the manliest thing you could do.
That is pretty manly. I should start doing that. Anyway, that's my week. Will Smith, Chris Rock meme. That's all I have to say about that.
Just sick of seeing that.
Oh, I know. But I thought it summed it up. So
I called you for emotional support every day.
You called me, yeah. I mean, You also sent me a sunset pic.
Yes, I did. Mm-hmm. From the Texas Roadhouse parking lot.
Oh, was that on Thursday or something?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, it's nice that you're thinking of me.
Mm-hmm.
So, how was your week?
It was all right. It's pretty good. We had some sunny-ish days. I went for walks. We finished up some big jobs, which was nice to get a lot of it done and get both presses back to normal. Chris and Sarah leave this week to go to Disney. So I have 2 key employees out this coming week.
Okay.
So,
how are you going to manage that?
That's fine. Chris's main role is like shipping, receiving, and ordering. So he kind of did all that prior. So everything should be ready to go. I have to count in a few jobs, but nothing crazy. And Sarah's got her stuff all set, and Morgan's going to take over for her for the week on a couple key emails. But other than that, we should be good. Nothing really crazy this week. Nothing really crazy to report. I'm starting a new side project, the New York Tea Club, NYT Club.
And T is like for like TEA?
No. I should do that, though. I should make
All right. That kind of makes sense. Okay.
Makes sense, yeah. Which is kind of funny, too, because it's funny you say that, because there's a buddy of mine who has a tea company that actually just like kind of like went out of business. Like they were around for like 2 years. And I texted him this morning. I was like, whoa, what happened to the thing? He's like, well, partnerships and, whatever grew out of it. I was kind of like, dude, I kind of want to buy it. Like, I kind of want to take over for you. So I was like thinking about that all morning.
What's the name of it?
It was Evil Tea Company. And
that may be part of the reason. You could call it Upstate Tea.
Mm-hmm. Well, now I got to call it NYT Club. I'll have the NYT Club and the NYT Club.
Or just NYT.
Mm-hmm.
There's an NYU, like, NYT. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And people won't know. They'll be like, oh, Dylan started another t-shirt shop. But no, fuck no. Nope.
No, it'll be like Johnny Cupcakes, where they think they're going to get cupcakes, but really it's t-shirts.
Mm-hmm. Or it could be t-shirts or tea. You don't know. That's just it. You keep them guessing. So like you could say, hey, you want to join my NYT club? And then 1 month you send them a t-shirt, and next month you fuck them up and you send them tea.
Yeah. Or every t-shirt purchase, they get tea with their tea.
Yeah. Or every t-shirt purchase, you give away a cup of tea.
I just fucking said.
You didn't say give away.
Sorry, I forgot that verbiage.
I was trying to play off the Tom Shoes model, where you get you buy a pair and they give a pair.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. So
nothing crazy. Yeah. Did you have a fun party last night?
Yeah, it wasn't my party. It was Logo Daddy's party.
I know.
It wasn't really even his. I guess it was a party for his wife who had a birthday.
Yeah. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
Did you have good food, good drinks?
It was lit.
Well, I would expect nothing less from John.
No, it wasn't. There weren't good drinks for them because they're doing 75 hard.
What is that?
It's not a porno.
Oh, then I don't care.
I know you were thinking that for a second.
I was going to say, sign me up.
75 hard is this program, like a fitness program that you have to do for 75 days, and it's hard. So that's why they call it 75 hard.
Real creative marketing.
Yeah. Right. And so, they're not drinking, but that's not a big deal. You can have a good time without drinking. In fact, know this firsthand, like that's your thing, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. It was good to see them. And there were other people too. And some people I didn't know. There's just one dude that was like super ripped. Yeah.
Was his name Andrew Rodman?
You actually said a nice joke about me. Like that's a funny.
I know you're shredded.
Yeah. Well, appreciate you, man. Thank you. You're hyping me up today. Man,
well, I'm trying to get it out of the way now because I know you're going to get tore down in like 15 minutes.
I do.
Did you pre-call Ryan and say, don't talk about this?
I called him. Yeah, you know me so well.
Yeah, I do.
I called him and said, hey, man, look, I know you may want to use me as an example, but
don't.
Let's just make this, maybe a third at the most about Shirkong. And then we'll talk about all the other shops that suck, you know.
I hope he talks about
not
this
just
other
us.
shop called Short Dong that he does stuff for. And then he lists all the stuff that's wrong with it.
Short Dong, those guys are a fucking mess. And man, there's a lot of work to do. I don't know, but we can talk about our sponsors. I think that's something we could do, you know.
Hey,
unless
you look cold. Would you want to use me as a blanket?
I would love to. Yeah, that one worked. Mm-hmm.
You felt that one.
Mm-hmm. So Hanson screen printing. He sent me one. He might have sent you it too, but
beautiful, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Spit it out.
Have you heard about these new corduroy pillows? They're making headlines.
So stupid.
God, I was terrible at that. But you know what? I want to, here's what I thought. And I'm sure you were aware of this, but he has the best videos. Like he tortures the digitizers. The
digitizing people? I know.
Oh my God. And I thought I'd play one real quick in case, maybe
They're
somebody
amazing.
hasn't heard one and you could go to Handsome.
I was going to say, what's his Instagram so people can check it out?
Instagram is handsome screen.
Handsome, which is what it should be.
It should be that. Okay. That's close. No, it's Hanson screen printing.
Handsome screen printing.
Yeah. That's a good name for a shop. I like it. Okay. I hope this comes through. Ready? Here we go.
Good, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Can you please just let me know, do you send your design outside for screen printing?
I do all that myself. For my son.
He sounds like fucking...
He's a good boy.
Yeah, man. And we are just providing you that 20% discount on a simple vector design. So can you please just check us quality?
I don't really understand what you're saying.
So he first answers that was part 2. I think I hit the wrong one, but he first answers. He's like, hello. And they say, hey, we're calling about digitizing. And he goes, oh, my mom does that. He goes, let me get her or whatever. And then he acts like her. It's so good. But you can count on one of those a week from him. So it's entertaining.
Printavo posted a meme of that Chris Rock and Will Smith, one of us. Did you see that? Where it smacked him and said, my mom does my digitizing.
Oh, yeah. Right. That was good. I mean, you could do so much. Like there's like 10,000 memes.
I still get hit like, at least I want to say like no joke, like 5 or more times a day by digitizers.
Yeah. So the digitizers, they not only call, like they email, what's it called? Spam. That's the word.
I'm always getting it in DMs. Yeah. And it's always like a picture of like a hot girl.
Oh, yeah.
And you click on it and it's like, digitized.
Right. You get all excited. You're like, ooh, who's this?
Ooh, Veronica says, whatever. And it's like, who does your digitizing? And I'm like, fuck you, Veronica.
Yeah. Well, doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It all starts with a screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF.
Rank.com.
Or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
Hell yeah, brother.
Franks are the best by far.
Yeah, and I'm getting ready to post a pic of
your new racks.
But we also have racks for at the end of our developer, the Kyle racks. And so, before we used to just lay them flat, and we had built these fans, like we had zip tied box fans all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, I bought like 24-inch motherfuckers, like drums, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, double decker. And then drum fans on top blowing down. So on low, it's too much. Like it's fucking awesome. Put that shit on high. I don't know if it takes 10 seconds.
And this is just to dry a already developed screen?
What do you mean just to dry? And yeah, it's what it is.
Okay.
Do you make screens? Do you make any screens during the day?
Yeah, I don't need fucking like hurricane winds to dry them.
Yes, you see. That's where you're wrong. You do need that.
You can just do your screens in advance so they don't have to be dried so fast.
Hype me up. Remember, I'm getting ready to get torn down.
I'm sorry. That sounds great, Andy. That sounds like a great thing you made.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cleaning screens is no fun, but Easy Way makes it funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will help you clean your screens. Yeah. I said
way
it all wrong,
fucking
but
better.
yeah, but that's right.
Yeah.
Check them out at easyway.com. Easy Way.
It's the easiest way by far.
Super far. I listened to the whole Alex Easy Way Blue Water podcast with at Printavo.
Our buddies, yeah.
With Bruce and Steven, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I recommend it. It's like, about an hour. So it's not like horribly long like ours.
Yeah, like ours is.
Yeah. Like you can, sit through it in a drive or something. And Alex's beautiful voice is on there.
Mm-hmm. Some of our favorite people.
Some of our favorite people. I kept picturing his mustache, and I was wondering if that's like part of his success. You know what I mean? Like he's a really successful guy.
I think so. Yeah.
Right.
I think he had like 3 genie wishes, and 1 was to be successful. 2 was to have the killer mustache, and 3 was to get with me. And I mean, it all came true. So,
yeah. Well, lucky him. And Bruce and Steven, they asked such great questions, and
so
also
smart, so handsome.
They provided some laughs too.
Mm-hmm.
Action Engineering makes all kinds of accessories printers need. Go to actionengineering.com and have a look. And then use Shirt Show at checkout and get a one-time discount of 15% off.
Yeah. And it was awesome seeing some DMs this week of people using that code and they saving hundreds of dollars on their checkout.
Cool. Monarch Color makes ink that does what it's supposed to do. If you want to learn more, go to monarchcolor.com. And remember, ink better, print better, be better.
Live Moss.
Monarch. Okay, so I want to introduce this guest today. And I dubbed him a new name, actually. And so our guest is Ryan the Tornado Kasparian. And you may think, well, what do you mean tornado?
Well, we can't call him the tornado because we had Tori on here before and it was Tori Tornado, remember?
Really? Is it Tori Tornado?
Mm-hmm.
Ryan the Hurricane? No. Look, here's the thing.
Category 5, Kasparian.
I just felt like that because you know what? Sometimes you have to tear it all down and then put it back together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what...
yeah, but remember in Twister when like Helen Hunt, like they fell in love in a Twister? They rekindled their marriage and got back together.
He did come over on Thursday and serenade me.
See? It's a true love story.
We had like a dinner date, scheduled, and he canceled. He's like, hey, Andy, I'm working on this.
I can't stand being around you anymore.
He's like, look, this whole week has been, and I'm thinking, what if we just did lunch tomorrow on Friday before I leave? And I said, okay, yeah, that's cool. Look, I'm exhausted too. I get it. And then he texted me. And I think he felt bad. Like he felt sorry for me. He knew because I texted, we were texting back and forth a little bit and I was saying some things and I think he felt bad. He's like, fuck. He's like, oh man, I probably should just go over there.
So his pity hangs.
It was, but he played guitar and he's really, really good at it. And I thought that next time I'm getting, instead of screen printing lessons, I'm going to get guitar lessons. They're way cheaper.
Tell everyone what you told me when we talked on the phone about that, though.
I don't remember.
You said you got kicked in the dick at work all day from Ryan, and then you had him over and he shamed you on your own guitar because he was so much better at guitar than you were.
Yeah, and then I was waiting for him to take Joanne into the back room.
Right. That's what we said. We said he would take Joanne away from you as well.
Yeah. He's just better. He's just better at everything. And I think that is what is important. Like one of the lessons actually is that, here we are, we own shops. We think we're badasses. And sometimes you need to be humblified,
Mm-hmm.
and say, oh shit, sure, we're successful in that we haven't gone out of business, but there's stuff to work on. And it's not just stuff that, you can always see that's right in front of you. And when somebody like him comes in, like Ryan, and he comes in and not only does he recognize some of the stuff that, we need to work on, but he's able to focus on it instead of being distracted by, and interrupted by other stuff. But also he is like this outside person that, everyone here isn't used to. And so that was pretty cool. But he was on the show once before. And what episode was Ryan on? Take a guess. Pick a number. So, and by the way, I looked up, we are on, I think this is like 96. And so we've got to get our shit together because episode 100 is going to be a party.
Mm-hmm.
And so we
I
don't
want
have
to
very many
say
left.
he was 47.
God, you know what? I thought the same. I was like, probably 40s, 50s. Nope. Before that.
Really?
Yeah. One more guess.
32.
Earlier.
Really?
I know. Another guess.
Fuck. Actually, that makes sense because I remember making his thumbnail and I put the 3 heads on it. And that was before our black and white format.
Mm-hmm. One more
18.
guess. Or earlier. Can you believe this? It's fucking crazy, right? I know. No, episode 11. Like, what the fuck?
Dang.
That was really early on.
Well, it's kind of cool to do him again now because of back then was when he was just starting.
It was.
Covered in ink. It was like the very first.
That was August of 2020, and which means we're coming up on, let's say, almost 2 years, And so a lot has happened in the industry, and a lot has happened with Ryan in the past 2 years. And so it's really good to have him on. He was here for a consult last fall for just like a 2-day or 3-day deal. It was like the initial assessment. I don't even think he does 2 or 3 days anymore. It's like a week because you really need a week to.
Mm-hmm. And we recorded a podcast with him.
Well, that's we don't talk about that. Okay, now it's out of the bag. So
we're here to try it again.
So fine, the cat's out of the bag. We recorded, and the only ever episode that we have ever recorded that didn't
And
air,
not air, yeah,
was with Ryan when he was here. He was sitting right here, right next to me, and I was being a little bitch. And
the funny thing is too is that episode had issues other than the obvious issues of like you not wanting to talk about everything that was going on. But like you only had one mic and it was hard to hear. So I mean it made sense.
I was vulnerable, and I think that's okay, and I am now too. And I'll open up and we'll talk about some of the stuff we worked on when he was here. But yeah, we had issues with that episode, and so it never aired. But we're here, and he can tell us all about it now.
You good? You gonna go pee pee?
No, I think I'm just gonna take another drink out of this sweet mug that I got from Windmill. You see that right there?
It's a beautiful mug.
Has water in it.
Wow. Is it good water or is it like St. Louis like toilet water?
It's St. Louis toilet water. I mean, it's good water though. That's both. It's both of those things. Here, go that. Do it.
Oh, good call. I need one. Like my independent jacket.
I like it. I figured that's what it was. Wasn't sure, but it's cute.
Thanks for asking.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
I figured. Oh, it's so fucking metal.
What did you expect?
That's true. And a big Dimebag Daryl poster behind you is what I was expecting.
No, it's in my bedroom. It's on the ceiling.
right above your bed instead of a mirror.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a mirror there too.
Obviously, on your waterbed.
Waterbed. What is this waterbed thing you speak of?
You don't have a waterbed?
No, we popped it, so we're not going to get another one.
Right, that makes sense.
Is that a metal thing? Is to have a waterbed?
My dad has a waterbed with like a full size mirror above his bed.
We were role playing. She was Edward Scissorhands.
Right.
It didn't work out very well.
Were you the bush?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
She had to trim it.
Mm-hmm. Well, good to see you, Ryan.
Yeah, let's make this professional.
How's it going today?
It's going great. A little tired. Kind of. I don't know if it's jet lag or just altitude. Like when I travel and come back, takes a couple of days to kind of get used to being back to Denver.
When did you get back? Yesterday?
Last night.
Dang.
Yeah, I had a couple hours at Relentless in Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
Drove from Kansas City to Lincoln to Denver. Got into like 7 or 8.
How many miles have you put on your car since you started doing all this travel?
I bought that thing new with 70 miles, and there's 92,000 on it now. And like in a year. So I got it. That's why I bought the thing. Let's drive it,
Yeah. No, that's true.
Let's be honest. How bad do you miss St. Louis right now?
I don't, because it's sunny as hell out here. It was rainy and kind of gross in St. Louis. I miss you. I miss your staff. Don't miss the city.
Which staff? So on this trip, what shops did you visit? Relentless and Andy and who else?
I went to Redding Company in New Braunfels, Texas. I went and met up with Tyler at TC Apparel in Arkansas. Andy in the gang.
TC.
Andy in the gang. He's got a sick ass building coming. It's going to be great. I can't wait to lay it out. Apparently, if you want to open a giant print shop for under $2 million and want to buy a building, do it in Arkansas. Shirt Kong in St. Louis, and I hit Relentless in Lincoln, and then now I'm home. And then I got Superior Inc. next week, a small print shop, and Tiny Planet here in Denver. I got 3
I was going
shops.
to say, those are all close to home, right?
Yeah, I got 3 shops in Denver that I'm going to. And, of course, always going back and visiting the guys at Kasparian and Denver Printhouse just to say hi.
Me and Andy were talking about something before we had you on where we were trying to guess what episode it was that you were on, like the first time. And
11.
Was it 11, Andy? Is that what we said?
What did you just say? I thought you said 7.
He said 11.
I thought it was 17,
it was.
but I think it's 11.
It was 11.
It is 11. Yeah.
We both guessed like 50 something.
Yeah. It was early. Like I remember seeing the first 2. And then I started hitting you guys up. I'm like, hey man, I swear a lot. Sometimes I'm funny. That'd probably be a good idea.
Well, I think that's like your style. And I was going to say that, and that's basically the shop floor. I mean, that's how, or not just a shop floor, but that's kind of almost every shop. I mean, let's face it. I mean, we're in an industry that is, I don't know, maybe sometimes
full of dirty sailors.
Yeah. I mean, it just fucking is. Like we're doing, well, our shop is a mix. And I think that's what makes it sort of hard, is that you have a team on the production floor. We have our design room is all like professionals. Our customer service is professional, and so you have this blend of people. And it's not that the shop floor and the production isn't professional. It's just a different blend of people, that all come together, and a lot of them are creatives, and they all have this common goal. And what's so great, I think, about you is you speak that language. You understand and get right to the point. And with your I think you bring your experience and which enables you to do that. And you're not like the consultant that comes in and isn't afraid to do give somebody a roundhouse kick to right to the fucking face, And so in words, in other words.
Oh, I thought it was real. I want to see Ryan do a real roundhouse.
Not a real roundhouse, but that's just, he just fucking tells it like it is. And you need that, because you're a fool if you think that everyone is always real with you, like especially as a shop owner. You think that your team is always 100% real. And a lot of times they are, and certain people are more than others, but sometimes I just see maybe some people 2 minutes a day and they're fucking fake. And they're not really telling me their problems, or they're not really telling me how they think about the shop or what
everything's great.
Exactly.
Yeah,
now,
you get that.
So guess what? Ryan comes along and they kind of spill their guts. And that's what's so perfect. Like, even if I could work on the things that Ryan had, worked on, which I think that I'm capable of a lot of that stuff, maybe not all of it, but a lot of the stuff, it just works out differently when it's a different person, because they'll tell Ryan shit, all day.
They do.
And they do.
Exactly. Like he beats me and he doesn't feed us, stuff like that.
Well, no, like having an opinion on what was developed specifically by an owner. Like you're, as an employee, you're afraid to ruffle feathers, especially when it's the person that's signing your check. And some owners might take things, the bad way and flip out, and then they have a communication breakdown where the suggestions and the opinions of the staff are no longer valid. They don't even listen to them anymore. And there's just a breakdown there. And so people are used to that in other jobs. It's definitely not happening at Andy's shop. Like, Andy's got a great facility. It's a great communication system. Andy's an excellent owner, but it's, I'm kind of making a broad statement for the entire industry. Because they experienced that at like their first job, their second job. Like maybe they worked at a car wash, or they worked at McDonald's, and they were just shut down every single time. And then when it comes time to speak up, most employees are afraid to even say like, hey, so I don't think this is a good way to do it. I think this might be better if we did it like that. And they've been trained not to speak their mind. And it's someone like me, I get to come into that, and I'm not the boss. I don't even work there. I am just hanging out, buying people lunch, drinking coffee all day. And I get to go, so tell me about your position and some of the pain points and some of the stuff that's, maybe it's kind of holding you guys up, and you might see a better way. Like, let me know some of that. And I take all those considerations and all those recommendations and all the things that everyone says. I personally filter that out on all the reports that I build. I take notes every single time someone says something. I take notes, and I filter that out and present it in a way that is, of value to the owner. I will never bring the owner of a shop that I'm consulting, hey man, this press sucks. That's not valuable data. And I have employees and people on the shop floor all the time that just says that. I can't do anything with this sucks. Like, there's so much that has to happen. That's not just this sucks. Okay, why is the press a piece of shit today? Has it always been like this? Does it do it every single day? Did it do it once and only once? And is it only a piece of shit, and does it only suck to you? There's a lot of stuff that I have to break down. So a lot of the stuff that I get from employees on the floor, yes, it's bitching. Everybody does. Everybody complains. More times than not, it's just situational. They might be having a bad day. I'm able to filter a lot of that shit out and present it in a way to an owner that's, hey guys, check this out. So there's an information ping that's happening in the system where it's getting locked up and it's causing a delay in this other department. Most employees would be like, I have to send this email 3 times a day. Like, they just kind of have a personal, like kind of a personalized emotion to it. And I can break it down and make it very unemotional and say, like, there is a delay in this response time from a customer to the approval process of the art department, back to the customer, back to the account manager. Like, there's just this trap of information. It needs to flow through the system. I'm able to catch that stuff based on our emails suck.
Now, do you go into a shop with, I guess, just open mind and open flow and trying to figure out where the bottlenecks are? Or do you go in with like, I don't know, like, because it sounds like you're listening a lot to the employees, not necessarily to the owner, and like, hey, I'm having issues with this.
I listen to both for sure.
Right. But I mean, are you just like going in with a game plan of like, all right, let's see like from each part of the shop where the pain points are, and we'll work on that little by little? Or are you just kind of like broad spectrum, like, let's just try to tune this up?
There's calls before the consultation. So we set up an objective, the report that I send out, there's an objective, there's notes, there's tips and tricks, and there's recommendations. And so you guys always have access to that when I leave. because I'm still developing what I do. You know, like I can't leave a shop and have it just fall apart and everyone forgets, like, what did he say? What is going on? So I developed this, you know, this guide, this kind of report that, you know, the objective is usually, you know, like let's look at our screen room. We're having issues with registration on the press. I need you to work with my production manager, train my production manager. There's all kinds of different reasons why I'm going to the shop. What happens is, you know, I love this industry and I love the shops, and I really have a genuine, you know, care for the owners because they're super great people. You know, like it's amazing to see, and I want to help them out in every aspect. I get overwhelmed in the first couple of days because I'm walking through a shop. I'm going, oh shit, I want to touch that. I want to fix this. We have to talk about that. I get overwhelmed myself.
That was kind of part of my question though. Is just like I feel like there's so many things you could touch on. Like do you just give it like a 1 day evaluation of like, all right, this is way more important than this?
Yeah, it has turned into, you know, like the reason I came into the shop will turn into something else for sure.
That happened in our case. I mean, so yeah. I sort of, I guess, because like he said, so day one, we went over our priorities and I kind of listed them. I prioritized them. And so I was like, here's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we maybe had 5 that I wanted to work on. And so you know, he went and started to and got into one of them and discovered that, hey, you know what, before we fix and work on this, we probably have to actually work on this. And so, you know, it's not sometimes, I think as the owner, you know, I do, that's my role is that I work on all of this stuff. And so I think that this could be more efficient and I wanted Ryan to go work on that, but I wasn't exactly sure why it wasn't efficient. And so I had a hunch, but I was wrong. And so we actually determined it was actually a few other things going on. And these other things that are going on weren't instant fixes. It wasn't like, oh, we can fix this in a couple hours or anything. And so that's why a week is so great that he's here, because it takes a week to sort of, I would say anyway, discover what's wrong, diagnose it, and then set out like a plan on how to fix it. And we didn't fix everything in that week, that's for sure. But he gave my team a template. You know, he leaves and he gives you this template to say, okay, well, here's how to do it, basically. And you know, I think in our case, it's probably going to take a year, you know, to get everything done, really. And why I said earlier that I dubbed him the tornado, which was a little unfair, because it just feels
the Kasparian
like that.
devil.
It sort of feels like that, and only because you know, I spend my life working on this. You know, this is my life's work, and to have that criticized is just never easy. And you go home because, you know, you think, oh, this is, you know, it's successful. Like things are good. You know, we have, I have a little money at the end of the day to buy a pizza, and I can,
you don't eat pizza, you eat birdseed, dude.
You know, I just have some spare change and it feels good. And, but that's not just it. And we're trying to, he has lots of Ryanisms, but one of them is that he is going to put new shoes on Michael Jordan. And that's a compliment, you know, to say that we have a nice shop, but we just need some new sneakers. And so I think that you do a good job of figuring that out and getting to it. And it's just not fucking easy. It's not easy to hear. And not only for me, but actually the team that we went after the most was the design team, because we were having problems from pre-press to press. And those guys were just like, I don't know, they were, people don't like change, period.
There's so much of this that I want to get into, but I'm trying to tiptoe around Andy. I don't want to talk shit, but I guess as a whole, I'm glad I'm not the only one. No, it's not about you. I'm just saying, like, okay, say your art department, like, you don't have to necessarily talk about them, but like, how do these people take it when you're like, hey, what you've been doing and what you're doing now isn't isn't the best way to do it. Or like, you in this position have been doing this for so long, but you're actually not good at this position. You're better at this position. Like, how does that usually go, Ryan? Do you like walk in and you're like, hey, yeah, we're going to do this differently. And they're just like, okay, like, this is my job, I guess.
So I've been doing this my entire career. I never attack the person. I always attack the process. What I'm noticing is that if the process and the procedures are developed correctly, and there's a ton of resource and a ton of support, and it's easy to find answers, and it's easy to kind of train yourself as an employee, the person's great. You know, like they have a lot of success in their position. And so like when I go into that, it's never personalized. I'm never just like, you know, like, oh, so-and-so, you're an idiot. Like, you're doing this wrong. Like how I word it is not any sort of attack whatsoever. It's like, I want to see things through 50 different lenses, and I want to approach this procedure. And our goal, because I always talk like I work at the shop. Our goal is to make sure like this is the absolute best way to handle this situation and to do this task, to complete this, you know, activity. You know, I want to make sure that they understand that it's not a critique and it's not an attack on them personally. It's an expansion and optimization of that position and that procedure. It has nothing to do with them. All I'm trying to do is make their position and make their shop a little cleaner and a little better, a little easier to run.
Right.
It's the same way I've treated my staff. You know, like when my staff fails, I fail first. As a manager and as someone that developed a system, if it failed, it was me. It wasn't that person. It's not that position. I had built the thing. I built the position. I defined the whole thing out. So I never go in attacking any one individual. I always kind of like Andy was saying, like when we went into, you know, go after one objective, it turned into something else. You know, like I swim so far upstream that my arms get fucking tired sometimes. Because I got to go to the top and cut the head off the snake. Like it's got to start up top and it trickles down. I do the same thing in those departments.
Is there anything, Andy, that you feel comfortable that was an issue in your shop that we can like go through start to finish, like what was going on and what we fixed?
Yeah, totally. I'm fine talking about all of it.
I just feel like a lot of what we're talking about is kind of vague as far as like him coming in and fixing. Like, what's something that was like an actual real world issue that is getting fixed?
Okay, so one of the things is that once upon a time, we had some hierarchy in the design room. In other words, there was a senior designer manager. But over time, you know, people come and go. And at this moment, we don't have defined roles and titles, which, you know, I think every department needs a manager because that manager is accountable for his team and helps make decisions quicker and all those sort of things. And so it was time to assign those roles. We haven't done that officially yet, but we have to. And that's going to cause a problem here. That probably will cause a problem in any shop. So there's currently 4 designers in there and 1 in embroidery, and she's going to probably be joining that team somehow, some way soon. But one of the designers is going to be not a designer anymore, even though he's going to do a lot of the same process stuff. He needs to teach that to the others because there just can't be one person that holds that information. I learned that. That's
a lot of my problem.
It is. Well, it's probably a lot of shops' problem, honestly. And so we're going to assign roles, right? Well, when you pick somebody to be a manager of that department, maybe some people would agree with it, but maybe other people will say, hey, wait, you know, like, time out. I've been here the longest. I'm the manager. You know, I'm not getting passed over for this. Well, what if that's not the person you're going to make the manager? You know, and so
they also don't get to decide.
And they don't get to decide, but I could appoint one person a manager, and that other person could walk, say, here's my 2 weeks, I'm out. That's it. I'm done. And so are we prepared for that? You know what I'm saying? And so this is real world stuff. And that's why, you know, you're dealing with human beings, you know, and it's not just, hey, you're going to be the manager and you're going to be this. And, okay, cool. You know, like they have feelings and they have dedication and it's their career too. And so it's not just as easy as assigning roles. And so that's one thing that we have to do here still. And we talked about who it should be and all this kind of stuff. And just because you say, you ask somebody if they want to be manager. That doesn't mean they're going to say yes. Maybe they don't fucking want to have anything to do with it.
Yeah, they say yes and fail.
Or they say yes and they do it, and you're saying and they don't do it well.
Yeah, they want it because they want a raise, but they don't want the responsibility.
Right.
They're like, ooh, salary. Ooh, I get 50, 60 grand a year now. And then when it comes crunch time and you have to make tough decisions as a manager, they run away. They can't do it. I've watched it happen.
Or they just come to the owner for every question.
Yeah, they're not even doing their job. They're having someone else do it for them and kind of walk them through. To touch on this, what was explained to me, why those position titles and definitions and responsibilities are so crucial. So we're all in the dugout and we all have to take the field. What happens when everyone runs the third base and stands there? Everyone has to know what part they play on this team, and they have to know what they're responsible for. And if everyone just runs out on the field and hangs out in left field and you have no pitcher and no catcher, you're not going to win. And it's just so disorganized, and it's tough to have any kind of like regulations and rules. And when you're trying to like be ultra efficient and push the system to the boundary, you can't do it because no one knows that they're even responsible to take that on. And you got I had to kill I thought you were going to burn those screens. I thought you were going to burn them. Oh, you didn't mix those? I thought you were going to mix them. Oh, I didn't mix it. Like I had to strip that and rip that apart. And once I defined it and gave everyone clear, transparent responsibilities and defined what their positions were, I gave them a copy of it and I had them sign it. That shit got cleaned up like crazy. And it was super efficient because everyone knew their position. They also knew who else was responsible for that stuff. Mm-hmm. So if the garbages weren't taken out, they go to Larry and be like, "Hey, Larry, make sure you take out my garbage before you leave."
It's always
and
Larry.
He goes, "Oh shit, I forgot." Yeah, right. I just picked the name.
But so in your instance, Andy, it was you had 4 designers in there. Were they all just doing the department's work, or were they didn't have any defined roles? Like, were they just designing and then like someone was like, I guess I'll do the steps for this? Or
I think that in our situation, one of the designers is he's also, I don't know if train's the right word. He also experience. So he also has experience in the whole shop. Like he can be a screen tech. He can run an auto. He can do a lot here, and we decided that he's going to be our ops manager. So he is going to be the manager of operations. And he wants that. It's not just that we, asked him or told him to be that, because you have to also want to do that. Otherwise you're going to probably ultimately fail. And so, he wants that role. And so, we chose him. And then what was your question again? Exactly.
I guess just because there was 4 people in there, like, were they just doing anything and everything? Or like Ryan said, they didn't have specific roles. Like Larry does SEPs and Todd.
They figured it out naturally. They're all figuring it out naturally and playing to each person's skill set. And so like one person will do this all day, and they just kind of, which is great that they're all in that standing center point desk in that room. It's beautiful because then you're just like, you move your head and you talk through a monitor and like the communication's instant. One thing to touch on too, like everyone at SureCon, that entire crew is incredibly skilled. And I think that the lack of system, your company has been incredibly successful because there was really good employees at that shop. It's rare, like that's why I called it Michael Jordan, because it's holy shit. We get a system that's built and defined and clean and transparent and ultra efficient. That thing runs like a champ. It runs great now. That's why I like when we were talking about, like just tweaking the dial. Like I'm not coming in here and like waving a magic wand and trying to fix everything. I want to grab that 8 and push that dial to 11, which is totally possible.
So in that design room, are they each designing for customers, and are they stepping their own artwork?
Yeah. So currently they do exactly that. So they have accounts, they have clients. They also get new clients, and that's divvied up as orders come in. They create the art, they get it approved, and then they, like you just said, they sep it and drop it to Kyle. We talked about having one person do that, hiring somebody that's just a production, I don't know what you call it, just a separator, I guess.
Well, that was going to be my
artist.
question. That was going to be my question, is because I know everyone who does SEPs kind of does them differently and like lays it out differently and does different size
happening.
like traps and everything else.
Mhm.
Like
That's what we talked about that for half a day.
I was going to say, were they all on the same page with the same set of rules,
Close.
or were they
It was
all
close?
No, but they weren't. And so, yeah, there were definitely variances. And so, and that's part of the problem when we have a failure on press, is because
Right. That was going to be my question, because usually it's an art issue and it's kind of like, well, on this kind of garment or this kind of thing, we do it this way. And, you know, all your guys might do it slightly different. So it's like,
they do. It's not wildly different, but there aren't absolute, you know, rules and consistencies. And I know sometimes from job to job, it's going to change because of something or other, but, and that's, I think, what having, you know, a manager in that room is going to be so beneficial, is because we're going to set those again, you know, we're going to set those standards, and then he's going to be responsible for making sure that that's what we're doing, you know? And so because that was one, so I mentioned one of the things I wanted to do is just from pre-press to press, make things run smoother, because right now, I think that our biggest burn in time is exactly that, from pre-press to press. Not like we were losing on our setup times are fast, but sometimes we'd set it up and we'd discover a problem. And so we're trying to minimize those problems. And like Ryan said, we're not going to be 100%. You know, there's always going to be problems, and maybe we're 80, I don't know, but we're trying to get what we thought was acceptable, and that is towards 90. And that's the second thing that he did, is he built this production Excel. It's in Excel, I think, this production software that our quality control is going to track, and it's going to give us real data on what we're doing.
I guess back to that though, real quick, Ryan, in your professional opinion, what should a shop do that has multiple designers in the same room? Should there just be designers and then separators, and there's a manager who gets stuff from A to B? Or is it better to do a manager kind of make sure all four designers, or however many, just have the same rules?
Well, so a manager or a lead is going to help hold the employees in the department accountable for these standards and the regulations. And so, like, if we are all making our own standards and we're all doing things our own way, we're wreaking havoc on something that's like a production floor that should be as close to the same as possible. I do highly recommend an art director is the lead. There's a creative designer and then a production artist. I personally like them split up because I can play them to their strengths. I'm not having a creative, like, say you have the all-in-one, the production artist that's not very good at being creative. You have a creative person that's not very good at doing technical steps. I like to have one person that's just solely working on, man, I'm going to learn different ways to set this out, to trap this. Maybe I put a ditch if there's a butt to butt, two colors on top of each other.
I just feel like
they focus on that.
There's an art form to it too. Like, there's a lot of technical stuff that they can do, but yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like you can have four great artists, but that doesn't mean you're going to have four great craftsmen when it comes to doing sets.
No, or four great creative, they might be really good at doing sets, but when it comes to like a client walking in and they just ramble all this random shit, and you got to paint a picture in your head and make it happen. So a lot of people can't do that. And like, finding that creative artist and that creative designer is super tough. Like there was a crew that we had years ago that were like, we played, like there was like a quarterback and a running back and a wide receiver. Like that was their position. And they focused on doing that all day, every day. And that's why it ran so well. That's why it was so smooth. If someone came in and they wanted to, have artwork made, you talk to this person. If if the production manager saw it was a crazy type of garment and it should be stepped out a certain way, or you want to adjust levels because it's a high color run and you're working with plastisol and you get a lot of gain. Like, let's go to the production artist, the person that's doing the steps. And if you're like, hey, so all of our art that we're getting is all the way to the left, and like we need to have it super centered, you go to the manager and they implement a new standard and adjust it, and they hold everyone accountable for doing that.
Yeah.
See, I guess the other way of this is, and that's where I said I have issues, is because I have a smaller crew where I have like one guy in the art department. Like a lot of our actual art that we're creating, we're not doing in-house. We're doing with our specific team of like freelancers that we send stuff to. But Brian here in the art department, like that's his craft. Like that's what he's really good at, is doing incepts. And my problem is, it's not necessarily a problem at all, but like, I just have Brian.
Yeah,
like,
when it's one person, they kind of have to do everything.
But I don't have like a backup. Like I don't have another person that shares his knowledge to where like if Brian gets hit by a bus tomorrow, knock on wood, that never happens.
Yeah.
I'm fucked. Like I don't have another person to do that.
So
Stay home tomorrow, Brian. Brian's staying home tomorrow. don't leave.
Yeah. Brian's also been with me for 12 years. So, I mean, I'm not seeing him going anywhere, but like, you never know, shit happens. Like you get sick or, you know,
you had 12 years for him to write out his position.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly the point I was going to make, is that that's another thing that we're working on. And so we have made, we had that idea a long time ago, but we never executed on it. And that we wanted QR codes for every process, for every SOP, right? I mean, we've talked about this on lots of episodes. But to actually, it's one thing to want it, and it's another thing to actually go set it up and make it work. And so we have the template now. We decided, like, we figured it out IT wise and software wise how it's going to work.
You're doing the video version?
Yeah, well, both. So Ryan worked with Alex, one of the designers here, who happens to be really great and loves working on software. They came up with how it's going to all play out. And we just chose to get it started. We just chose like a really easy one, and we chose the Unicode. It's like, okay, so how do we make this? How do we write SOPs for the Unicode, get it on video, put a QR code there, and have it all work? And so we got that part figured out. But this is exactly what you need to do with, I think you said his name is Brian. And so Brian needs to, there needs to be a QR code at his, whether it's at the iMage or at his computer, at his desk or something, so that if he's gone, somebody can, hold their phone up, hits the QR code, they can watch a video on what he does. And then also there's descriptions, step by step. Here's what I do, step 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's really hard to do and really hard to make happen because we're busy, right? We have shit going on. So I'll do that tomorrow. Well, I think we all understand the urgency here, and we're going to set goals, and we're going to say, well, we're going to do this, by this week. And every week we're going to try and have another piece of equipment, SOP'd, and things change, and that's cool. And we can pop, another video in there, or write another step, or go in there and modify what we've written. But that's exactly one of the things that we need to do, because Ryan said, and it's kind of negative. What did you say? There's an apocalypse and we all die or something?
The apocalypse theory, like everyone's wiped out of your shop, and tomorrow morning it's all new people.
Yeah.
It should still run. It should be built to where it still runs if you replace every single person overnight.
So for the people listening, I guess break it down a little bit. Like, so you have this QR code, you have the system. I'm not going to get into that. It's just more like the video. What should the video entail? Is it just like step by step? How to
you're reading the instructions? Yeah.
Okay. And then the written version is just that written out, or is that more step by step, like actual broken down a little bit differently?
It's broken down. So like the video version is specifically for like, push the green button to start the machine. It's, it shows you the green button. The video really helps for, those individuals that are really good at learning based on looking. I noticed that I had to have both, because there are many different types of human beings. And some people,
that for sure.
Some people don't like to watch a video whatsoever. And they're like, I just want to read step 3 5 times in a row. Like, to me, I'm like, I just need to hear you say it and I'll do it. And so like the video portion of it is someone speaking the step and someone actually physically doing it and being filmed while they're doing it. The written portion of it is all the verbiage, the vocabulary, all the any kind of like, definition, or maybe it's a part number, or the name of the button is specific. Like if you go into the press operator procedures, like there's a button for the squeegee speed, and a button for the pressures, and like you have to kind of list what those are. That's where that's beneficial because there's icons that you can put in the written instructions, which is super crucial.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think for Brian, he definitely hates fucking being on camera. I can't even get a picture of him. He's one of those people that I feel like
Have him wear a mask.
Yeah, I was going to say he's one of those people I
Make
feel
it
like is
fun.
on camera, thinks he's getting his soul taken.
Make it fun. Make it fun.
But like for his position, doing steps and stuff, he could easily do like screen capture videos of like
just record him doing it and have him wear a headset like Britney Spears and just talk.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I would love that. So do you feel like, I guess in that department again, trying to break down the same thing, you think that you're just going to define roles in the art department and then you're good to go? Or
I don't know. It's unpredictable. And so, yeah, we're going to define roles. We're going to see how that plays out. We're going to see how, like everybody responds and accepts those new positions. You have to, I don't know if 30 days or 60 days, whatever it's going to take until
We're going to find out in a week.
Yeah, we're going to find out. We'll find out pretty quick if, I guess the general, like the vibe of the room and how that plays out. But what I meant was, it's not going to be an overnight thing. We're going to figure out how it works out over time. I don't know. I think that then we work on, there's so many things that we're going to work on because so when he leaves, so Ryan does all this stuff where, I
level the city because I'm a tornado.
He talks to a lot of your team. He comes up with a lot of ideas. I'm sort of this person that processes one at a time. And so I gave him this metaphor of like, when your computer's spinning after you enter something but you're still typing. And then when it's done spinning, it fills in a lot of words. Like I was the computer spinning and Ryan was still typing. And I'm like, hey, wait, whoa, time out. But, that's fine because he's got, he's excited, right? He's got he's really stoked to make this place work.
I move quick too.
But I have all this other stuff I'm working, all this, like millions of other things that I'm working on.
Running a company.
And so, that's what I think is one of the other hard parts is that, as an owner in this process anyway, I wanted to be in that room and hear what he was saying. And there was one day in particular, I think maybe it was Thursday or Friday where, the new ops manager and the production manager and Ryan, they held a meeting with the production team and I wasn't invited. I was over here in my office.
Well, you shouldn't be though. Like that's what Ryan said is like, if you're in the room, they're not going to want to say what they really need to say. Yep.
And also I shouldn't be in on running all of the meetings all the time, and so the guy who's the new operations manager has never run a meeting here and he just stepped up and did it. That's a scary, a lot of people can't call a meeting.
He did a great job.
He did a good job. A lot of people can't
really
talk to 20 people or something. They just don't have it in them. And so I guess it was sort of a test and he passed. And so I think that and another Ryanism is that, don't stick your finger in the fan. And I think about that all the time because I don't micromanage, although I think some people sometimes would say that I do. But you never want to think like I'm a fucking micromanager, right? Like that's such a.
I didn't mean to laugh that hard at that. I'm sorry.
I'm just nodding.
Because it's well, hey, like it is my shop. And I want it to run a certain way. And I think that because of that and because of I care so much sometimes care too much that it can be perceived as micromanaging from time to time or maybe all the time.
Yeah.
But I fuck off, Dylan. But I want to know, I do also delegate and I let people run their show and they're very autonomous. They make a lot of decisions without me. But if the metaphor is, the Ryanism is that you stick your finger in a fan, you slow down the fan, and it also hurts. And so I, on purpose, and I don't know, give me a score of how I did, but I stayed the fuck out of the way last week, the best I could, to the best of my ability.
You did great.
Did I do okay?
Yeah, there was a.
He's looking down. He's not looking at.
Yeah,
me. He didn't look.
I have notes.
He's like, yeah, Andy, you did great.
I was reading the notes that I wrote because I knew we were going to talk about the visit, so I put notes down.
But hold on, I got a question before we get into something else. And Andy, we can have Chad cut this out if you don't want it to be out there. But me and you had a talk because I was your shoulder to cry on all week when Ryan tornadoed your face. And this is, I feel like this is really important.
Sex act.
Yeah, this is very important though too. And this isn't a knock toward anything. This is just where you want to be. And you had a lot of discussions with me about like, should I even be as involved as I am? You know what I mean? We were talking about that as like stepping back to be able to do the things that you're good at, the things that you want to do, or if you want to fucking play disc golf in the middle of the day, like you said, like you don't want to think that you're micromanaging, but you're probably out doing things you shouldn't be doing necessarily.
Yeah, and Justin, we weren't knocking you. It's envy, really. We love you.
Well, on the phone, we were talking about Justin, and Andy was like, how the fuck does Justin get to go out and just do all these fun things all day? And it's because he has a team to do it for him.
Yeah, you pay people to run the shop.
Right, but that's my question here is that something that you're going to try to work towards to where you can kind of just be the visionary, you're stepping in to upgrade equipment and run the shop like from a ways back to where you can kind of start? Because I mean, you were telling me on the phone, like, but this was also like while you were in the eye of the fucking tornado was, man, I'd love to just fucking retire right now and not have to do this anymore. Yeah. But then I also said, hey man, but we love this shit. We love this industry. You would fucking hate it to not be able to do it. You would hate sitting home, not doing anything. So why don't you just step back enough to where you're still the owner doing your fun shit and the shit that fills your cup every day and let everyone else run the company.
I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that's what I should do. And Ryan, I've said that to Dylan, no less than 97 times that I want to retire. Fuck this place because
you said it to me, motherfucker.
It's hard.
Well, that was the thing is after the phone call, I said, go tell Ryan this now so that he can like legit, like, this isn't a funny thing. Like you can, I was like, you're fucking paying him to be there. Why don't you tell him now? Like, hey, this is my goal at some point. Can you just fucking like start getting me in that direction? So running a t-shirt shop, just being an entrepreneur is such a hard thing that I think every single entrepreneur has said that, has thought to themselves that fuck this, I don't want to quit. Oh yeah. 100%.
And
you're not
the difference
alone
is that you go home and you have dinner and you go to bed and wait for tomorrow. And then you show back up and, you're ready to go at it again. And so, yeah, I said that in the moment and I was half kidding, half serious, but
no,
the half serious part of,
yeah.
The half serious part is that, yeah, you're right. I need to remove myself even further from certain parts of this business. And that's really tough to do because I bring a certain amount to this place, even though I probably could just not even be here every single day and it would run. It's its own entity at this point. There's 26 people and they're all really great. I still bring a certain component to this place, and so it's really difficult to do. And I think to myself sometimes like, wow, who's gonna solve this problem like I did? And the truth of the matter is that nobody's gonna solve it just like I did, but they'll solve it.
They might do it and they might do it better than you.
Yeah, probably so. Thank you.
I'm just saying that's how it is here. Like legit is like, I've backed myself out so far on so many things that like I used to handle or I used to manage or whatever. And I've put people in place to kind of do those things for me. And then now I might get like bored in my office or something. And I'll go out and I'll start like working on this project. Like I don't even need to do it. I'm just helping. And then my staff will come up to me. And they're like, get the fuck out of here. You're fucking this up. Like I had a flow here or I had this like thing going and I was doing it my way, but it wasn't the way that they're like doing it day to day. And I'm actually like sticking my finger in the fan. Like, and that's where I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll go back to my office and I'll think of a new creative way to like market this company because I'm not in this part of the company anymore.
The sticking your finger in the fan. Have you ever seen a coach score a touchdown?
No.
No shit, right? But it's because of him you win the championship.
Right.
I've never seen a coach run out on the field and catch a touchdown. Stay out of it. It's not your job. Like you have a quarterback on your team to call your plays that you call and to have a wide receiver that knows his routes to catch that ball and score a touchdown and fucking win. The coach is the coach and the quarterback is the quarterback. That's why I like it so defined. Not because I played sports. My tits jiggle too much to play any sports right now. But that everything is so clean and so understandable. And when you have your responsibilities very well known and they become routine is super fucking fast. And super fast is money and super fast is easy. Like routine is easy. It's just a better way to operate on a production facility. Sorry about the tit joke.
That's okay. I have them too.
It's so,
Ryan?
so dead right now. It's so sad. What happened?
Ryan,
I was just thinking about your tits.
Yes, sir.
can I pay for you to go to Dylan's shop and fuck with him? Because I want two things to happen. One, I want to then also do another episode where we talk about Dylan's shop. And then two, I want to be that friend that's there for him, just like he was there for me.
Yeah, I'll fuck Dylan's up.
And he can call. And then he'll understand a little bit.
I fully understand. I'm not saying anything's wrong. I'm just saying I have shit that's wrong here too. But like, I don't know. I like the fact of seeing that you're taking care of it and that you're fixing things. But like I said, I talk to you as a friend and I hear things where you're just like burn out from the day or whatever. And it's like, I want you to, you're in a different place than I am. You're older than I am. Like, you're at that point. We have this discussion all the time where like, I'm here and you're like, yeah, I remember when I was there. And like, you're at the point now where you're just like, you know, we just got back from 5 days. I say vacation, but like we went to Atlantic City and you were like halfway through this week and you were like, man, I need another month vacation. And I'm just like,
well, definitely after, you know, this is tough. I mean, I considered just taking a week off just because, just to let the dust settle and also stay out of the way while those guys work on a few things and then come back.
We got a lot to do.
But we got a lot to do, and I'm coming in tomorrow. I think I wanted to touch on another thing that Ryan always says, and that is kill questions. And so, can you talk to us about what you mean by that?
So that stemmed from a day where I looked at my phone and I sat down to check emails, and it was 1:15 in the afternoon. And I had an entire morning of where's this? What's going on with that? Is this work order right? Hey, I'm missing this underbase. Yo, this screen popped. Where do we put pop screens? All these crazy, like, to me, they're crazy because, well, at the time I didn't have anything defined. And no one really knew the answer to those questions. And so I was like, man, I am super bogged down. These guys are annoyed because they don't know. I took that entire next week and I created an FAQ for the production floor, which is your frequently asked questions. You know, like, what white do I use on a tri-blend? You know, like, anytime someone would ask me a question, I started writing those things down. Hey, so I have a bunch of 230s. What's the exposure time again? You know, like, any kind of, to me, is crazy. Because I look at it and on the wall, it says, 7 seconds or whatever the hell it is. Those questions, I have to go, all right, so they bogged me down for an entire day. I'm trying to logistically figure out how to squeeze 160,000 garments into, a week and a half worth of press time. I just missed one meeting, an entire morning. I went outside and I paced around the parking lot. And then I remember looking on, websites, and I remember, like, instead of asking a company, how long does it take for you to ship something, you can go to an FAQ and you can see your own answer. I attacked that. And I was like, I need to make an FAQ for my floor. I need to kill all these questions because it's downtime for me. It's confusion and stress for my staff. And it's just a mess. It's not a good way to operate a floor. And so I spent a lot of time making it accessible. Like, at first it was, like a spreadsheet where you just kind of go to the front page and you search for something and it search a bunch of different rows, and it was just kind of clunky. Trainual was great. Like, you can go into Trainual type search and say, like, white ink on a tri-blend, and it pulls open the ink you would use for the tri-blend, the technical data sheet, any kind of tips and tricks that we developed in house, whether it's like a modifier that we're putting in it, what your dryer time should be, what the dwell time, the temp should be. It gives you everything you need to know right then, actually more so than you need, because I want you guys to learn a little bit. Same thing specifically, like in the back with the reclaim guys, like, hey, I can't get this thing of emulsion out of the screen. What do I do? I make it accessible. Go to an iPad, type that question into a search bar. Bang, there's your answer. And once I did that, so why I preach kill the question and why I am just attacking all that shit. One, as a former press operator, when I was walking around a giant shop with a work order in my hand and one screen in my other hand, I felt like the biggest fucking idiot on the planet because there was an issue. I couldn't get past a setup because something was wrong and I couldn't find anyone. And it was stressful. And I was like, man, I don't ever want my staff to feel like that. Second, I can't walk away from a machine that generates money. If I ever leave a press that's just like ka-ching dollar bill, ka-ching dollar bill, ka-ching dollar bill, something failed. The whole system itself failed. And so I need to make sure that my answers are accessible at all times. Everyone has a phone or an iPad, or at least can walk up to a computer. Yeah, you get into like the bilingual communication issue. It's tough for sure. Like having Spanish only speaking individuals try to search in English database is tough. That can be fixed though. You can have 2 websites for both or 2 tabs for both. But once I started doing that, the staff loved it. I started getting feedback saying, hey man, like, so with this white ink, like we noticed that like, you don't like putting retarders in your discharge. And we actually read about it last night on the internet. Like, you're totally right. That's crazy that we do it like that. And I had a crew of people coming back to me going like, hey, I do my own homework. And when I had that question, I went to that FAQ, I typed in something and it showed me an answer, and the answer was great. But then I double checked to make sure you were right. And I love that. I love questioning authority. I think it's important. That's progress. It's what builds progress. Then a couple of people called me out on my shit. I was trying to blaze through it, and I had some typos and some misspellings in there. And I had stuff that was just totally incorrect, and they called me out on it, and we fixed it. I love that shit. Like, it wasn't like an attack on on me personally. It was like,
no,
yeah,
but you wanted the system in place more than anything.
Yeah,
and they were helping you get the system.
It's got to be right, because it's the systems. Those FAQs aren't for me. They're for my staff. They're for the operator that only worked on a manual for 6 months. Like, they're for that person that wants to learn what screen printing is, or they're just like, they want to come into work and be a bell catcher and not have to do too much, because they're just trying to, take care of their grandkids, like all the stuff that you throw it in there. Why can't I do something to make their job easier, make their life easier, and build something that's super strong for them to succeed? I set them up to succeed for a reason, and I get really good results from it.
Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of times when we're texting each other or whatever, we're talking about weird stuff, but you also are always sending me some like app thing or some kind of like system thing that you're making, or some kind of like automated, like, let's figure out how, pricing should be made. What are some things that you're working on, or things that, like, I guess software wise should be more implemented in places? Like you said, you did the FAQ thing, which seems super smart to do for anybody, but what are some other things that like could be implemented that people don't really think of?
So, an unofficial announcement, I'm over the past year, I'm working on and developing like the Covered in Ink SOS, the shop operating system. It's going to be that hierarchy, that structure. It's going to be an app. I'm working with it. I'm still looking at a couple companies and stuff online, trying to figure out, if before I go to a company, I have to document it and do the work on my end. And I have a lot of it done. But I want to make it available to all shops. And what the biggest hurdle is, the one manual shop to 100 auto shop. And how do I universalize my information and how I develop, stuff? And that's been, like all consultants and all, app and software engineers and developers, like, how do you make it work with everything? That's what's kind of killing the time of this. But, like with the consulting, I want to make it accessible to all my shops. I think all you guys saw that how to build your operating system document I shared with everybody. It was just to the shops that I consult specifically. I had Dom from Superior call me. He's like, why the fuck are you giving this out for free? Which was great. I love that Dom fucking called me at like 1 a.m. and checked me on my shit. Thank you, Dom. I am not giving it out for free. I'm giving it to all you buttholes that pay me thousands of dollars to help your shop. And that's one of the benefits of the consultation, like hiring me in, like you're going to get all that continually. Maybe I haven't been at your shop in 6 months, but you get those documents and you get anything I develop.
Mhm.
Did that answer some of that?
Yeah, no, it did. I mean, there was some stuff like we talked about where you were saying like an app where, say this happened to me the other day, like Megan came in my office and was like, hey, you need to order these inks. And I was like, well, that's all well and good that like I need to order these inks, but like she had like multiples of the same ink on there. I was like, why is this? Because normally we have like double of everything. So that way, when you take one, you order another one. So you pull the other one forward kind of thing. She's like, yeah, I guess like someone just forgot to come in and tell you that like you needed to order this ink. And I was like, well, fuck. And then I immediately thought of you because we were talking about how they could have like an app on their phone where they just typed in like what they needed to order and it would email me or whatever and say, order this. So they could do it out there and not have to like bring me in a note that says, order this ink.
Alex at ML Screen Printing, we were brainstorming one morning. Like, what's the best and what's the easiest way for someone to order something? And like, we were just like, I kind of had this. I went outside, I made a couple laps, came back in. It was just like an online store. Like, what if we did that internally for ML Screen Printing? Like, what if someone was in the screen room and they're out of emulsion and they just opened up a computer, ordered 5 gallons of emulsion, and it was an email sent to the purchasing department. And like, we just had that morning was awesome because you saw his brain. We were talking over each other. We weren't even making eye contact. It was just like, it was development in the air and it all just happened. And then Alex took that shit and walked it all the way through. I would love to take the credit on developing that thing. But Alex's staff, like they go and they open up this spreadsheet and it's a drop-down list in their department of what they need. They click on it. They click how many they want. Like say it's like 5 gallons of emulsion. They hit the Yolano, whatever the fuck emulsion they're using, and 5 gallons, and they hit submit. And it's an email that's emailed to Alex, and Alex then orders it. No one walks around the shop. If you're out, you can order it in the moment. It's time stamped. It's all the information Alex needs to order it. And it's super efficient and it's super quick. And that stemmed off of, like us having an issue. They were starting to get big enough and fast enough where stuff was starting to kind of like drop, fall through the cracks. Stuff was getting missed for sure. And one of the remarks from their production manager and their ink person was, when I need to order something, I always forget to write it down or I forget to ask. Like, it would be cool if I can just order it. And I was like, let's just make it fucking like, yes, they think they're ordering it. And it's really just an email. It's just a super technical email that's going to Alex, but that's over with. In their mind, they go, I'm out of white. They order it and they go, all right, we're good. And they walk away. And Alex now gets to order without even talking to him.
Right.
Good job, Alex. You're the shit.
Yeah, I remember you posting that and I was like, man, I wish I fucking had that.
You can. Andy paid for me to go out to kick Dylan's ass.
Cool.
Or do something to Dylan's ass.
That's fine too.
Shave it.
So I guess in the beginning we were talking about how you were episode 11 and you kind of had just started Covered in Ink or like getting ready to do it. And now it's been however long. Is it for you? Is it everything you hoped it would be or thought it would be? Or tell us like you're just not actual helping shops, but like you personally, how it's kind of working out.
I love it. I think it's great. I've always been kind of doing this just without charging people. Like I'll talk to shops at my lunch on my phone. I'm called a psycho for a reason because I come home and I'll print and I'm in my own shop in my backyard and I'm talking to people on the phone and someone will call me and I'll go set it up and try to replicate what they're dealing with on my little manual press. And I've always just been obsessed with it. And I think it's important because I've always wanted, like I wish I could have had that kick in the face and the punch in the gut and the tornado and all this shit everyone's saying. But I wish I would have had it years ago, like when I was in my mid 20s and then having someone. And they existed, like with Alan and Marshall and Bill Hood and Lon and all these guys. Like they're the fucking kings for a reason. They're the shit. Mark Coutret, got to fucking say his name because he's a god. Those guys were doing it, but they were less accessible because of the internet. Like there wasn't no like yellow pages for consultants back then. We only heard about them specifically through our ink manufacturers, and like not through a podcast like this. And so like I'm getting booked out like crazy, and I love it. What makes me feel the best, absolute the best, like these text messages that I get from shop owners saying thank you. I finally get to take a vacation. For the first time in my life, I woke up and I didn't feel like going into work, and I didn't. And I got to spend a day with my kid. And I kick owners out of shops for a reason, because you already did your job, homies. You built a multi-million-dollar company, and it's running. There's a building, there's equipment, and you're working on sales, and there's a ton of it's takes some time. You've crushed it and killed yourself for 15 years. Yes, relax a little bit. Let me train your managers, and you can take that time. But seeing that reaction, and like that makes it so worth it for me. Just knowing that I'm able to help straighten out something that was kind of squirrely and kind of swerving, and put them right back on track and get that thing, going again, and motivate the employees. That's my number one. That's where the tornado comes from. Like I like to come into a shop and light that fucking shit up and change that environment and that atmosphere from this like, yeah, like everything's just kind of fucked up, and like so-and-so is doing this. I'm like, fuck you guys, let's go. Like, this is it. Like, let's figure it out. Quit bitching about problems and start fucking solving them. Like when you guys sit there and just go like, yeah, every time we get something burned, it's always wrong. So what are you guys doing to fix it? You're doing nothing but bitching. You're actually making things worse by spreading toxic fucking bullshit. Stop. And so like I like to come in and kind of like whip some people into shape, change their behaviors, change their thought. And when I leave, I get text messages all the time. Like, dude, I can't believe I was acting like that. I'm sorry. I'm like, don't apologize to me, man. You should fucking talk to your manager. But it's a real thing. And there's some times too, I walk in a shop and we make some terminations. There's stuff that I see that I'm just like fucking unacceptable. I cannot believe you're letting this happen. And, like not going to even say any kind of personal situation or what really happened, but I have to train managers to make quick calls like that. Like if there's an individual that's doing something, or I'm trying to word this without giving it away. If there's someone that's on your shop floor, in your business, in your company, that is already done, already out, or has done something worth termination, and you as a manager have not cut that free, you just fucked up and you failed. You're sending a message to the rest of the staff that they can get away with certain things.
You can say short dong as code. Okay.
It wasn't your shop at all. It was something last year.
So kind of playing off what Dylan said, when you go into a shop, all the shops you've been to since, episode 11, what are maybe the top 3 problems you see?
Screen room.
So that's number 1.
You motherfuckers. Check your tensions. Make sure your screens are good. That's your tool. It's like a fisherman that has a reel that barely works. Like, what the fuck? Or like you're going to the river and there's no hooks. Like, what are you guys doing? Check your tensions. Make sure you have all the same screen. Or at least the mesh types are the same. You're not getting patterns. Control your variables in the screen room. This is screen printing for a reason. It's not ink printing or squeegee printing, or this dude did 2,800 impressions today printing. Who gives a fuck about that? Make sure your screens are perfect. Also, chemistry, ink room chemistry. That is so crucial. I have so many people that are just like, this ink sucks. This doesn't work. I'm like, if you're just opening up a bucket and expecting everything to be magic, I don't think you understand what this really is. There are some things that are out there that you kind of need to take into consideration. Viscosity busters, dulling paste, any kind of like low cure additives. Depends on your manufacturers. I can't say any names, but please adjust and use the chemistry to make your inks work the way you want them to work. Solve your problems with the chemistry. It does work. And make sure your screens are perfect. Those inks are going to be way fucking better.
That's 2.
3, the skill set and the trained experience in the management. Your best press operator is not going to be a good production manager. I was fucking terrible when I started, just because of how I speak and who I was. I had to clean up my emotions. I was pissed off at first. My first couple of years, I was kind of I can't believe you're not as good as me. You suck. And I'd walk away. That's no way to fucking manage anybody.
So wait a second. What do you mean your best press op isn't going to be a good manager?
Generally what I'm seeing is like they make their number one press operator a production manager. And then they run around like a psycho all day yelling at everybody and holding everyone to their level, and they do zero training. They're bad at communicating. They're just really good on a press. And maybe they might be one of the best screen printers ever. Management is something completely different. It is something so wildly different because now you're dealing with the human aspect of your position. And you're using those, I don't want this to sound negative, but management is true manipulation. I need to have an individual do a task and complete something without questioning it and do it in the most efficient way humanly possible with zero resistance. And so I have to manipulate them into believing that everything I tell them to do is the way to do it. And that is super tough to do because it's kind of fucking dark and evil, right? But that's the definition of it. You're trying to make sure that you're guiding them in the right way. They're instructed and supported, and they have all the resources they need to do their job. But they have a level of trust to the management that they are making the right choice. What I'm seeing with these non-trained managers, they are making personalized requests where they're favoring one person, not favoring the other person. They ask so-and-so what they can do to make their job better, and they don't ask the other person. It's just that you can't do stuff like that. If you're going to ask one, you ask all. If you do something for one person, you got to do it for everybody.
So what do you recommend then? So let's say there's a shop, and I don't know, it's a one press shop. They want to bring the lead press op of that press off press because he or she has said, look, I think I want to take on more responsibilities. I don't want to run this press anymore, and I want to take on more responsibilities in this shop. And so it makes sense because, they know they have the experience, right? And if you think that they have, they're good communicators and they're they're going to be able to also a really important, I think,
it's an asset to the company.
Ingredient, the really important ingredient to a manager is that they can solve problems calmly, and so let's say they have those qualities and you're going to put them in that role. Do you think it's a good idea just to day one say, okay, go do it? Or you mentioned something about training, how do you train somebody that's been on press for 3 or 4 years or who knows what, that to then all of a sudden manage people?
So there's a lot of offsite vocational resources. Like there is management training, and maybe it's 1 hour a week at 5 o'clock after work. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do depending on your city. Like if you're in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, maybe not. Upstate New York, yeah, you might be an hour and some change away. Andy, you're in a great spot. I guarantee there's a ton of training in that area. I wanted to specifically get out and work with like more culture related things. Like how do I necessarily implement my management style and have it adaptable to the culture that we're trying to set, or like how it feels? Because it's hard to control what culture is, but it is based on like your management style. But I love offsite training. I think it's super crucial. I don't know if like when you guys go to like ISS or these conventions, you learn some stuff from those conventions.
Dude, that would be such a great seminar at one of those conventions.
Production management training.
Dude, yeah, right? Why don't they need that?
Ryan, sign up for that shit.
Right?
Down. Let's do it. I'll wear a suit.
So I thought, I said something a minute ago, and I said that one of the important ingredients of a manager, or qualities of a good manager, is that they solve problems calmly. But we had a discussion here about that dynamic of coming in hot with too hot, coming in too cold, or that
lukewarm, baby.
So that lukewarm sometimes is actually the best style. And why do you think that?
It's based on the reaction of the staff. Like people don't want to see you up or down, which was strange and blew my mind at first. They want you to be, not that you're like a robot, but like they don't want to see you super upset and super pissed and super negative, and they don't want to see you like everything's fine, like, hey, you're the greatest. Like they don't want to see all that. They just would like that really quick, clean, awesome, good job, and they fist bump you and walk away. Like that's what they respond to that stuff so much better than, because people read right through that shit. You know, like when someone's like having a panic attack on the floor as a production manager, which I've seen, the whole staff was like, yeah, look at so and so, like they don't even know what they're doing. You lost their respect. Like the next day they're going to ask you to do something, they're like, hey, remember when you were freaking out? No, like it's a real thing. And so like as a manager, you know, I always use this analogy. You know, like you ask everyone to get onto your boat, but if you're the captain and you're running around like a fucking psycho, no one's going sailing with you. If you're sitting on that boat in a lawn chair drinking a fucking beer, they're gonna be like, hey, it's a party. Like, they're gonna hop on and be like super stoked, and they're gonna feel comfortable and calm. Maybe not if you're the captain and you're drinking. Maybe some people feel uncomfortable with that. I would, you know, fuck it, we're on the sea. The boat's, it's gonna be fine. But like I have to take that into consideration, you know, like especially during the super stressful situations, that's when you're truly tested. And you get tested by your staff too. And so when you have like a hot head, or you have someone that has anger issues, or someone that's just like really short and demeaning, and you know, like maybe there's, you know, some vocabulary, like some verbiage issues, like when they say something, they call them an idiot. They say these negative words. It can have a catastrophic negative effect on the shop floor and the system. And it kills the productivity and it kills the production of the floor, because the people that are working there are miserable and they cannot wait to leave. And they're like, fuck this place, I'm looking for another job. And it's just all that stuff that just kills your numbers. It kills any kind of implementation. Say you're really excited about this new piece of software, and you go up to the person that has been yelled at by their manager for a week, and you're like, hey, check this out. Like, I got a barcode reader, and you just hit these QR codes and it pulls them in the work order for you. And you're like super stoked, and you're a manager or an ops manager. And they're like, they look at it like, yeah, whatever, it's going to change in like a week. Fuck this thing. And you're like, what? Like, this is groundbreaking for us. And so you have that disconnect. And when I started digging into that stuff, I'm like, why did you react that way? I'm more curious as to why you said something like that. And then you're like, well, I just get yelled at all the time for trying to do new stuff.
And do you find yourself working on those relationships? So, you know, you're at a shop and you work on those relationships. Obviously you can't repair those or improve on those in like a day. Maybe sometimes, I guess it depends on, you know, every situation is different. But what I like is that, for example, with our shop, there's a text group, and not only is there a group, but there's you text personally with some of our team. And so let's say you do go to a shop and there is one of those issues where, I don't know, there's a manager and they're doing some of those things that are having a negative impact. Well, then you can text with them over time, you know, and say, so how's it going? You're checking in and you're saying, how did this week go? And are you gaining the respect back, or, you know, that sort of stuff? I mean, is that something you find yourself doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I want to make sure that, you know, like if I'm operations manager and then there's a production manager, I'm getting feedback about their performance as well, because they're under my, if say I'm the owner and there's a production manager, or I'm the owner and there's a general manager, you know, like I want to get the feedback of the staff to make sure that when he comes into my office and says, yeah, man, everything's great. And I'm like, I just had 30 people tell me that you called him an idiot or something. You're like, you want to make sure that you're getting real data and real feedback. That's why I hear stuff from the owners when I go to consult, and I hear the picture that they're painting, but I go and talk to the staff for a reason, because I want both sides. I try to play the detective, and I want to see both paintings because I have to make my own. And so I want to see black and white before I start presenting gray and start attacking that. And what I'm seeing too is that it's usually completely the opposite. Like, usually it's like the owner's saying it's this, the staff is saying it's that, and I have to be right in the middle and go like, all right, both of you guys have to change. This is how it should be now, which is really tough. And like I try to stay away from, you know, like if I'm doing I got to quit doing these like 2-day, 3-day consultations, because there's stuff that I am not able to fix in that short amount of time. there's stuff that takes months and months of development and trial and error and test and tune and all the fucking words you can throw at it. There's a lot of work that gets put into fixing this shit, and I can't do it in a week.
That was something that was something that Lon was talking about when we had him on, is when he was doing consulting, he would kind of do the same thing where he would go to a shop for a couple days or a week or whatever. And then like not everything would get fixed, or, you know, you come in hot as a tornado and say this, and this we can work on, blah, blah, blah. He said that he found it better to do more of like a retainer thing where it was like, yeah, he'll come in for the week, but then you're on retainer for a year, and it's kind of like, I'll pop back in or I'll do a phone call or whatever and just kind of walk you through things throughout that year or whatever. And he seemed to think that that was good for him, just because you weren't just like coming in hot and then all of a sudden like you were gone and then you kind of had to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, I'm not leaving anyone hanging. It's getting a little hectic with how many people are reaching out to me and how many projects I'm working on at home. So I have to kind of limit some of this stuff, because like I'm still like, if I update that output dashboard, I'm upgrading it for all the shops that I've implemented it at. I have these text groups with the entire shop. If there's an issue, they text a secret code word and I will call them immediately. I'm not saying what it is over this because everyone knows I don't answer my phone as it is. This is the only way for me to answer my phone. For a reason, because you got like 30, 40 fucking people calling you all day. Like it's tough it's exhausting to talk to everybody, but I want to, and that's what I have to be conscious of. Like I can't beckon everyone's call because I'm gonna get totally burned out. Are
you being picky and choosy with the shops that you need to work with or want to work with? Or are you just taking them?
I got hit up from a shop in Germany that I'm like, I'm not going to go anywhere over there right now. So yeah, a little picky, but you know, like there's no shop too small, no shop too big. The small problems can turn into big problems. So I'm down to work with anyone. There's a manual shop in California that I'm stoked to work with. And then like a 6 auto shop in Georgia that I'm going into, you know, this summer. Like I'm not super picky.
All across the board.
If you are an asshole and you are blaming everyone but yourself and you're super resistant, I will give you a refund and leave. I already have.
Minus travel.
Yeah. You know, like I was just like, it's you, man. Like you are the biggest issue in your own company. I am out.
Yeah. That seems
all right, let's move on.
All right. I got a few listener questions.
All right. Is this the fun part? Is it the fun part of the podcast?
The fun part? Well, a lot of the questions are kind of similar. Well, a lot of them, I feel like most people just want to know, like, what is everyone doing wrong? Like, no one's ever just like, oh, who's doing
everyone's wrong.
Correctly? No, I just mean like, it's like, what are the 3 most common mistakes, which we kind of went over.
Dylan, are you okay with this?
I don't give a fuck. Do it up.
Just making sure you guys are good.
Blaze it up, homie.
All the serious shit's over with.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Justin Lawrence said, what are most shops that you visit doing wrong? Shifty Apparel said, what are the 3 most common mistakes you see in shops? Eric at Night Owl says, does he bail on all his lunch dates or just ours? Scott says, do you have any Monday.com tricks or tips for Ryan, if applicable, or Andy? Andy, do you have any Monday.com?
Integrations. Use as many of those integrations as possible. It's fucking awesome.
What does that mean exactly?
Google Drive, Creative Cloud.
Yeah, Ryan's got it right.
You can get Monday to work with almost anything.
Isn't there that other one too? What was the one that texts your customer? Did you end up implementing that, Andy, or not?
We did, yeah. What the fuck is it? Twilio? No, I don't
Twilio?
know. Maybe, is that what it is?
Twilio.
I think we have some sort of integration with that where we because we found that, you know, sending an email proof works sometimes, but sending a text that we had sent an email proof works way more and way faster. And so, yeah, there's a lot of integrations with Monday. And also we have been really going hard into Monday with things like our maintenance schedules. And we're trying to, what the fuck, where else are we just started to build out something else for it. What was it? We're going to integrate the videos, maybe, right? No, I don't know what I'm doing.
Not into Monday,
Not
but
into
the
Monday.
Dashboard, like your production tracking.
Yeah.
Output dashboard. So that's
right
gonna go
now. Ryan's so the
Calendars.
dashboard that we talked about as far as production schedule dashboard is paper. So like at the end of the dryer, they're filling out paperwork, but we want them to be able to do that in Monday in the cloud on an iPad, so that we don't have to re-enter it. In other words, it's on paper now, and then we're all
One and done.
Yeah, we're re-entering it. We don't want to do that, and so we're building it into Monday.
Okay, those are some good ones.
Mhm.
Scott also asked CTS, LTS, and why.
I got to play with the LTS at Cold Cuts in Philly. It was fucking awesome. Brian from Saudi was there. I asked him 100,000 questions. The edge definition on the LTS is super sick. The 90-degree angles that you can put on those on the emulsion is crazy. The dot is super badass. I am concerned with the environment of most screen rooms, but not the most controlled as far as temperature fluctuation and particulates and just dirt and dust. And, like, not to say that you have to have like a fucking surgical lab to have an LTS operate correctly. That is not true. But, you got to take care of it, make sure that the machine, you don't give it a reason to fail. I think everyone should be in that CTS, DTS realm at this point. If you're doing film right now, let's look at, the size of the shop. If you're thinking about an auto, you should be thinking about a DTS. Like, that's usually a good stage for that to happen. And usually those one auto shops, those first year auto shops, 5 employees. And a lot of the time is that film, the nightmare in that film game. It's such a time suck. And so let's start thinking about an auto and a dryer, and let's pair it with a good CTS.
I think that
DTS.
if you're getting your first auto, a laser isn't probably the CTS you're going to get. I mean, I think that, just because of the cost, really. But also what I always have to chime in on is that when it comes to the laser, there's no doubt it makes a great screen, but you also have to consider other things downstream. So you have to consider your developer, you have to consider your reclaimability, and also, I guess, also your average piece run, because I think there might be potential issues. That's just my opinion on the laser. So yeah.
Okay. Scott also asks, what is the first area you look at in a shop the first day you visit?
I always attack the screen room for a reason. Screen rooms first. I go to the ink department. If I go have a conversation with the manager, go to the screen room, go to the ink department, I can kind of tell what the press guys are fighting with and what's really going on. Because that's like, if you got to think about pre-press is everything. The more I'm able to schedule my production, the more I'm able to control it, and the better I give the screens out and the inks out to the floor, I guarantee they're a little quicker than most shops. There are some shops I consult that the operator's mixing his own inks. There's some shops that I consult where the press operator never leaves his press for any reason whatsoever. Those are the shops that have the higher output, the higher numbers. So if I look at the screen room and I'm like, who burns their screens? They're like, oh, when so-and-so gets off the press at like 1, they kind of come in and burn for the next day. I'm like, okay, I can get a good gauge of where that shop's at from just from that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. In-house Prince asks, waiting to buy a copy of that fancy Google Doc template.
Soon. Working on trademark.
I was going to say, are you planning on the Covered in Ink website offering some of these things? Like, if they don't use you for consulting, they can buy certain templates and things that you're setting up?
Yeah. So, like, part of the consultation and part of me giving my shops access to this is so I can get feedback and make adjustments, because there's, small shops and large shops. I want to make sure that the same document works for all. So I am testing a lot of that stuff. That's why the shops get a little overloaded with the stuff I sent them. because I want feedback, and I even send you guys some stuff that like the production cost formula. I don't know if there's anything else, but there's Ron at Talk Surety. He ripped that thing in half and gave me some great fucking feedback. He's like, "What about reclaim?" I was like, "What about reclaim?" He's like, "You pay someone to reclaim." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I totally forgot to put that on there." He caught it, which was great. I was like, "Fucking high five, dude!" Like that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But good feedback. Gonna release it soon. Hopefully by the end of the year, we shall see. Getting stuff trademarked and copywritten, it fucking takes forever and it's expensive.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Lancaster Print House asks, which Jonas brother is your favorite and how many posters of him do you have in your room?
I'm 40. It's the Hanson brothers. You fuck.
Yeah, there you go. Some Okay, let's see.
I don't mean to call him a fuck. That was kind of shitty.
Gorilla Joe asks, I know this story too, which is funny. If you were to choose a desktop background. Next. Oh God.
It would look like he was wearing a glove on around his waist.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Let's see. Grizzly Wheeler asks, has he ever farted so hard he boosted his miles per gallon while traveling to all these shops?
Yes.
How is that though? Like for real? Like I know it's funny. You seem to be driving more than you're like flying anywhere. Is that just awesome to fucking road trip everywhere?
I love it. So I used to tour in bands. I get to drive around the country by myself without dealing with a fart box and someone.
I mean, let's be honest, it's still a fart box.
Yeah, but they're my farts. I like my farts. Sometimes I fart when I'm driving. I'm like, oh,
time to pull over.
Was that Red Lobster? What was that?
Right, exactly. And plus, you get to stop at cool places on the way.
Yeah, there's some parts where I'm like, fuck, I need to hit a rest area now.
That wasn't a fart.
Yeah, I shit myself. And then I sit in it the whole time.
Gross.
I love that I'm the first one smoking weed on this fucking thing.
Maybe.
Everyone drinks. Don't drink. It's bad for you. Coming from a smoker.
Christina asks, what's one phrase that makes Andy cry every time? Did you get real close to making Andrew cry, or did he cry and you hugged him?
I don't ever want to, but I was playing some Nine Inch Nails on his acoustic and I thought he was going to cry. Mm-hmm. It was emotional. We had a moment.
And then you stole Joanne right after that?
No. I mean, we could dive into some deeper shit. Like, that's kind of why I started playing guitar.
Mm-hmm.
To seal the deal.
And Nate Perry asks, is he ready to take our relationship to the next level?
Told Nate to go fuck himself.
Okay, Nate. Ryan says go fuck yourself.
No, Nate, I have been pushing and asking you. Nate is the production manager of Gorilla Joe. I've been trying to date that dude for over a year. He just won't. He won't fucking whatever return my phone. He doesn't even answer his phone.
It's that beautiful mustache too.
Yeah, it's that like fucking kind of Amish, kind of Pennsylvania, Ohio, like. Right. Like he could be building a fucking log cabin in the summer type, sexy flannel type.
Right.
Oh, it got weird. It got weird.
No, still not weird. All right, that's all I got. Because most of them were like, "What's wrong with people's shops?"
So it's not that everyone's wrong, and that's like a bad thing, Because I was at that level. I did the same mistakes that I would say you're making mistakes. The two of you have as well. It's not that you're wrong. It's just that you're in a different spot in this learning process and you're not doing anything bad. And like, maybe you're, coating your screen once and then you expose all your meshes at the same number and you spray it out with, just the hose. And like, there's all kinds of things that you're getting it done and it's still kind of working, but you're not optimized. You're not controlling it properly to get the result that you want. And you don't know enough. And, just because
it's just a fresh set of eyes on things.
Yeah. Someone, you ask a pro for a reason. They're more experienced. They've fucked up more than you have. That's what I think a pro is someone that's just gone through the the mistake making process, and they have learned from it sooner than you. That's all it is.
I think
So what you're saying is you've made more mistakes than anybody.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I have fucked up
I don't
so
know.
many
I don't know if
shirts.
that's true. I think both of us have made our fair share. I would say though that it's not about. Look, Ryan could not have come here, and we could have printed the entire rest of the year a bunch of shirts and been happy. Okay.
Doing great.
Or I could have acknowledged that we're not perfect and we just transformed a lot of our shop physically, but we have some processes here that I thought it was time to, just to work on. And I decided that would be a good thing for us. And yeah, maybe some of them were wrong, but they still worked, And so it wasn't because it's not because, we came up with this idea and this process and it was stupid. It's just that this idea and this process we came up with maybe worked, 5 years ago, and then we've grown out of it. And we're like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that. And so it takes somebody like Ryan to come in from the outside, somebody that isn't in this company that can, take a look at it. And that's part of like I think the trick of it all, or what's so important about it all, is that he doesn't work here every day. And so he's like this, like you said, Dylan, a fresh set of eyes, and he comes in and you can work on some things. And look, if there's 10 things that we need to work on and we only fix one of them, well then fuck it. We did it. We did something, we improved something in our shop this year that we wouldn't have. And so I don't know. It's not, I don't want people to think that, I need to bring Ryan in because, our shop is fucked or we do all this stuff wrong. Sure, you have those things pointed out. And he doesn't really put it like that. Like, hey, Andy, all these things are wrong. It's not really told to you like that. He puts a little sugar on it. And so, because it's difficult to hear that shit. And so
He sprinkles it like this.
So yeah, I think that's important distinction is that it's not always just something that's wrong. It's just that, hey, what, maybe this could work better. And why would I want
missed when you grow?
It does. And why do I want to continue to frustrate somebody on press, knowing that, hey, fuck it, we'll get through this year, it'll be fine. But why do I want to continue to frustrate them if we don't have to, if we can work on something? And yeah, we have to take a couple steps backward first before we take our I said that wrong. One step.
I started to think about Paula Abdul. The cat on the stairs.
Before we take our many steps forward. But I mean, that's the way it goes. If you want to grow, it's usually painful.
Sorry for ruining that, Andy. I'm getting kind of high.
It's all right.
My laptop's dying too.
That's the actual question. Really how many Paula Abdul posters do you have?
None.
Quick scan of the room.
Yeah, I got George Carlin. There's a Bob Lazar's sports model. A bunch of records. Speaking of aliens, it's picked up.
It's beautiful.
That's going to help in one of our quick takes.
So, yeah. Do you have any shop hacks you want to talk about, or do you have any questions for us?
I do. All the above. Shop hack, reach out to a consultant.
Specifically, Ryan.
Hopefully, if I'm booked, I could put you in some really good hands. Like, there's some really good guys out there that know what they're doing. I said most of their names on this podcast earlier. I do have questions for you guys. If you're ready.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I'm not going anywhere. Let's fucking do it.
Dylan was born ready.
He was born something. What was the most embarrassing moment of your life?
Oh God.
I'm glad I started smoking like 30 minutes before this.
Andy, you go first.
Fuck. Why do I have to go first?
I already know mine. It immediately popped into my head.
Okay, then you go.
I shit my pants in Target once.
Fuck yeah, I do. I do that for fun. Let me plug this stupid thing in. I'm dying.
Okay, Andy. Did you think of your most embarrassing moment?
Oh, I thought we were going to skip mine because yours was really good.
You're up.
There are so many. But the one that comes to mind is I was in high school and we were parked on like this dead end street where there was some construction going on, and I had a date and there was a friend and a date. And we had some beer and we had some weed, and all of a sudden there was some headlights. Cop came down the road, and two of them got out and said, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And they put their head like in the car, and they said, "What's that smell?" And the girl I was with said, "It's my feet." And I was like, okay. And I thought we were all busted, but the cops laughed at that. And so my initial embarrassment turned to pride. And I was like, well, this is fucking cool. And they just made us dump out the beers and they let us go. Otherwise we would have gotten, I guess they called them then MIPs, I think, minor in possession. But we didn't get a single ticket. We didn't get anything.
The best part of that story for me is that the girl you were into had weird feet, and you fucking love feet.
That's why,
Your foot fetish came from this girl's dank ass feet.
Maybe that's what it is. We finally found it out. The source.
Yeah. She's like, I have smelly feet, and you felt a feeling, and you were like, all right, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you going to share a story, an embarrassing story, Ryan? You're not going to get away without that.
Yeah, I don't want to go too far, but it involved a woman that wasn't a woman, and me being embarrassed that I wasn't embarrassed.
Oh God, that reminds me of actually a really embarrassing story.
Kind of went with it, Is that true or is it not true? I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah, you find out in the next episode on fucking episode 119. I do have another question. What do you consider the biggest failure in your company's history? And most people are like, "Oh, fuck yeah!" Like I want to hear it because it's probably something that's relative to most other shops or company owners.
An
order you accepted that just bombed.
Yeah, I think
buying a piece of equipment that was like, fuck, this thing sucks.
Oh, I've done that, definitely. Buying crazy used equipment because you think you're like getting a sweet deal usually ends up blowing up in your face. I think mine, it always goes back to the partnership. I feel like
that's right.
I was in a partnership and it didn't work out, and I was just too much of a night. Like, I don't love confrontation. It's fucking worse for me. And like, I feel like it was such a confrontation to be like telling your partner that like, hey, I don't think you're holding your end of the bargain. I think not doing that sooner is a big failure on my part, because I could have saved money, but time or heartache or just trouble. Like,
that's a good one.
It just, I feel like if you're in a bad spot with that, you need to nip it in the butt, like way sooner than later, or just think twice about getting into a partnership in general. Like, you better have fucking great relationship with that person and have gone through hard shit with that person before, not easy street up until now. I would second guess doing a partnership for sure.
That's good. I mean, it's valuable. People out there would be like, oh shit. They look at each other. You got two owners that are listening and they just go, whoop.
I tell people that all the time. Like, I know people that are like trying to get into business, and then they're like, well, I don't have the money, but so-and-so wants to do it with me. I'm just like, nope, that's not a reason to get into a partnership. Like, do not fucking do it. I promise you, it's not going to work out.
This guy said he'd pay for everything and I'm just going to do all the work.
No.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, as soon as, like, if you're friends with somebody and it's always been friendly and you've never had an argument with that person before, like, as soon as something bad happens at work or you have to make a serious decision and you don't agree on it, there's going to be an argument. And how do you fix it? Like, what do you do at that point? Like, there's a lot of money involved and there's people involved and everything. It's not worth it. It's not worth doing.
Andy, what you got?
Well, failure. So I was watching American Idol. Don't judge me.
Sing something.
And Lionel Richie said something I liked. He said, "When you win, you win, and when you lose, you learn." So I think that all of the failures that I have gone through, I've learned from. I hope so, anyway. There's been a lot of them. Equipment comes to mind because that's pretty relatable. I think one time I thought that the like sequins were going to be a thing, and so I. Shut up.
Would you start screen printing in 1986?
Well, I was doing some work for
a
bunch of dance teams that had come to me. And so I bought this sequencer that attachment to one of our embroidery machines. Yeah. And the idea is because there's a lot of all girls schools here, and they were like fucking loving it. Right. And so I was going to go in and do like spirit shops and merch stores for all of these schools. And so I invested in not only the sequence thing, but a laser for the embroiderer too, because, the rough applique look. And so
yeah.
Bought both of those things, spent thousands on training, and we probably used it 5 times, and then realized, wow, this really sucks. It takes a long time. I have to charge way too much.
Do you still have it?
I sold, I have the laser part on one of our, yes, I do.
I'm going to bring a jean jacket. I want to make something awesome with it.
It's for sale. Somebody want it? Come buy it.
Yeah. If you really like ponies and all the other stuff that you gem out.
I don't know. I think those are some, I've said some of my failures before. Like I've failed some like certain employees before, and I lost them. Like I failed to recognize or failed to, and maybe it was just timing, but failed to put them in the right roles. That's why it's so important for me that one of the things that I spend the most time on here is figuring out who is going to be, who's going to thrive in what role, and try and support that, because, otherwise you're going to lose that person. Ultimately, they're going to leave. They're going to get, especially now. And so, there's all sorts of failures to talk about, but as far as equipment failures, those are 2 of them. But I would say this, I'd be like, look, you have to take a risk sometimes. And if you have an idea or a market or a demo or some sort of niche that you're like, well, this may work out, go for it, because it may work out, And so, I've done lots of stuff where it actually did work out, but those, I thought I'd mention 2 that didn't work out.
Thing is too, is like, I agree with you. I feel like there's equipment things, or there's just things I've done business wise, or ideas of things that like we should get into here. But like, you don't know until you know. Like you said, like you don't know. Like you could have fucking been the bedazzle king of the world.
That would have been so badass. But Badazz ass would have been Badazz ass.
Right. But it didn't work out. You took that shot and you found out it didn't work. But like you wouldn't know until you try. So I'm proud of you for trying, bud. I'm proud of you for trying to bedazzle us all.
Oh, thanks, Dylan. Cheers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a Print Girl Mafia bedazzled jean jacket. Oh yeah, Girl Joe. There you go.
What else you got?
Did you do a shop hack?
I did. It was reach out to a consultant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Any consultant, not just me.
Mm-hmm. But if they wanted to reach out to you, what's the best way to do that?
Ryan Kasparian @gmail.com is probably the easiest way for me to filter that out. Just go to
or the website.
Me. Yeah, coveredin.ink, covered in ink, but there's a dot in front of ink. Go to the website, go to the contact form. It's just like I was like, hit me up on Instagram or find me online. But now like I'm starting to get people to message me, and it goes into like this hidden spam message. There's like 17 in there. I'm like, fuck, I missed 17 requests to possible business. Like that's not the best way to have them hit me up. And then like LinkedIn, like people were hitting me up on LinkedIn. I'm like, now I got to start checking like 7 different things. So just either reach out to one of the shops that I consult, ask them for my contact info, or go to the coveredin.ink and go to my site.
your site is also greatfuckingconsultant.com. We got to make that one.
I like it.
All right. So quick takes, Dylan.
Okay, you're first.
And I am first. So what is one thing you need every day?
Air.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for the answer, dickhead. Favorite snack?
I like peanuts, like honey roasted peanuts. They're good.
Honey roasted peanuts? Not just lightly salted peanuts?
You say peanuts? Oh,
Yes.
I didn't say peanuts. Peanuts.
Oh, honey roasted penis?
Yeah.
Andy. Next question, Andy.
I just spent a week with this guy and I saw
He's
him.
like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm done.
I saw him DoorDash like 1,000 things and none of them had anything to do with peanuts or penises.
It was coffee.
That didn't qualify as coffee.
Yeah, it was a dessert coffee. Sissy coffee.
Where's your happy place?
Wherever my guitars are.
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Next to my wife. She's over there.
Right next to her.
Yeah, right next to my wife, playing her a song.
Serenading her. Some
Yeah,
Paula
she loves
Abdul.
I rip out like some deicide riffs and she's like, oh, I love you.
With clothes blow off.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They light on fire. And her tits are like devil heads and she has horns and shit.
Sounds like a perfect match.
Yeah.
What shows are you watching right now?
Rewatching some Seinfeld. I don't know what shows. I've been doing a lot of live concerts on YouTube.
I do that all the time. That's
Yeah.
like when I'm up late at night and I can't sleep, that's what I like go through my Spotify and I'm like, oh, who haven't I watched live? And I'll just watch a whole thing.
When I print outside, I'll put on a concert. When I do some design work, I have a couple monitors, so I'll put like a concert on one. 9 Inch Nails at Red Rocks in September. I'm super stoked to go to that.
Appreciate you getting me tickets. You're awesome. Thank you.
Hey man, they're not cheap.
Look forward to it.
They're not cheap. I think I don't want to say the price. I told my wife I'd never say how much I spent on them. We are right dead center, right in front of the soundboard at Red Rocks, which is fucking super sick.
How far is that from you?
25 minutes.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
Maybe half an hour.
That's awesome. I saw who fucking was it? There was a live thing I watched on YouTube the other day where it was like a whole show and it's like in a cave. It's like a venue is like down, like way down underground in a cave.
You see Mastodon? Did you see Mastodon in the aquarium?
Oh yeah, at the Georgia Aquarium, right?
Yeah, it was fucking super awesome. Great concept. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. And that I've been to that aquarium because I used to live there and I think that fucking thing's massive.
I feel like the acoustics in a cave would suck.
Yeah, I don't know how you could. I mean, once that fucking snare gets, you just pop that snare.
Eardrums blow everywhere.
Yeah, you just hear fucking pop, 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 pop.
Depends on the band, I guess.
Or like a shotgun going off.
This question, you and I called you on a walk and we talked about this kind of extensively, but 2 autos or 10 autos?
Ooh, very good question. Like once you get to that 10 auto spot, it's a lot of human beings and you have to have a really strong system to support that. 4 autos with ultra efficient floors. And like what we said at different printouts, let's build this thing out like we have 40. Let's act like we have 500 employees, 40 autos, but we have a super efficient, smaller shop, which is easier to control and manage.
So the question is two, not 4 isn't an option.
4.
No.
4.
2
or 10.
2.
I feel like I expect nothing less from Ryan to say 4.
Well, here's the problem.
I'm not going to.
He likes the challenge.
No. Here's the problem with that, and this is what we talked about when I was walking. Is that
teach everyone rules and break the rules?
I think that at 2 autos, you have way more control HR wise. you're small enough, your culture is what it is. As an owner operator, you can certainly manage that many people. And then also at 10 autos, you have a whole lot of people, and you at 10 autos at that sales number, you can hire a full-time HR person. I think some of that stuff in between it, and I don't know when it happens, if it's at 6 or 8 or 10, but we're like, our shop anyway is in like, I think a hard spot because we're too big not to have HR, yet we're too small to have HR, because we just can't afford a full-time HR, let's say. And so I think that we'd be better off at 2 autos. I think that sure, we make a little more money, but is it worth it? And so I would rather be at 2 autos versus at 10 autos. I think that we'd be kind of the same. We'd probably make more money, and I wouldn't have to worry about HR. I think that in between part is actually the harder part, a harder shop to run anyway. And so that's why when you say 4, I'm like, well, that's just basically our shop. And what are you going to do about that? You're going to have to have it.
I was going to build an awesome system.
That's right. There you go.
That's why I said 4 works for him.
No, dude, Andy, that's fucking right on the head. You nailed it. Because the shops that start off with the 1 auto, 2 autos, and they spend that time growing, like everyone will say, like, man, when we were right in the middle, it was a disaster. Like, it was such a mess. Most shops that go from like a manual in your garage to 2 autos, they tell you, like, man, right before we got our first auto, it was terrible. Like, so it's those middle gray area, the growing years. Those are the years that hurt the most. One, because we don't, maybe we have 1 manual and we're not building our shop out to handle 2. And so when we get to that point, we're unprepared for it. We're not built out for it. And so that's why the 10 auto shop hurts too. Because you're still running a shop with 10 machines, hundreds of employees, but the system hasn't been upgraded or changed since you had 2 autos. And so right in the middle from 2 to 10 fucking hurts, and no shit. You're not prepared for it. You're not developed for it, and you're not able to handle it.
Makes sense.
This is where I hit end and just close my laptop.
Mm-hmm. Just slow close.
Yeah.
Wow. Find out he doesn't have pants on right as it closes.
Show you my sweatpants.
All right, I want you to see this. Andy makes the quick takes and sends them to me, and I look at them in text. My next question just says, "Can you see it?" No, I don't think you can. It just says, "Is shit real?" Question mark.
So there have been times where my shit wasn't real. And I stood up and it wasn't even in the bowl.
It was a ghost poop.
I know it was a ghost poop, but a ghost real? Are they real?
Perfectly slid down the drain before you got up.
Yeah, like I felt it coming out. Where'd it go?
What did you mean by this, Andy? Did you misspell something or what?
That's not what you meant.
Shit real?
It's spelled exactly right. And it's because last week or the week before or whatever, well, a while back, I started with, do you believe in Sasquatches? And then it was like aliens. And it was ghosts. And so then I just changed it back to one of them. And you're like, no, I want to know like your opinion, like on all the stuff. And so I just thought if I said,
shit real? Is
shit real? Like, Ryan would tell us his opinion. Is shit real, man?
I feel like Ryan's getting high. We need to get high and then really talk about if shit's real. Like we should talk about if like planets exist on our skin and like,
Dude, I'm so high that I don't even know if you two are real. I look at my laptop, I'm like, oh fuck, I think I know those dudes. And I go, oh yeah, we've been talking for 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
But I think shit is fucking real, man. Like there's something super exciting about not knowing. And I think that's what's so interesting about, I don't like all the super like ancient aliens type fucking, I don't know, the theatrics behind the paranormal and the supernatural. Not so into those like reality fucking shows. Fuck all that shit. I think there's something really exciting about the fact that something could be out there and it could be real, and that I don't know what it is. I love that. I think it's the awesome.
It's the who made who thing.
Yeah.
It's like who was the first person and how did they exist and how did this exist and who made this? It's like fucking blows your mind. You start thinking about that stuff.
That question, the chicken or the egg, or what came first, the chicken or the egg? I'm like, fuck chickens. why are we even having to ask this question? You're like, I like thinking way beyond what's like what we're looking at.
Yeah.
So like with you know, like ghosts and supernatural stuff that happens in houses, I truly believe there are certain fucking energies that are out there that can cause some wild shit to happen. And it might not necessarily be like, oh, it's someone's grandpa. You know, like it's most likely probably not that. But there's some shit, like some pockets of energy that have been able to move some shit for sure. That's just fucking what our basic understanding of, you know, like any kind of physics, it's a real thing.
Oh, Ryan's telling us, he's just like, and then this thing is down to the clip. He's like,
yeah, fuck yeah.
You know, energy balls, you know, like moved me last night.
I was hoping so bad that this was going to go this direction.
All right, so yeah, I think,
this is campfire stock.
We should change the topic.
I think the answer is yes. He thinks shit is real.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, shit's real.
Last question is, what's for dinner?
I have no idea what's for dinner. Cody, what's for dinner? No, she held up a Cadbury egg. That's what she's eating for dinner.
Do you get the insides and she eats the outsides, or you cut it in the middle?
DoorDash. Hey, eat that thing on this podcast.
Swallow a whole.
She looks thrilled. She looks fucking thrilled. DoorDash. I'm eating DoorDash for dinner.
Do you have good DoorDash at your place?
Yeah, it's not bad. We get some stuff from Boulder, so we get some really good.
Andy, you probably have decent DoorDash at your house too.
Yeah. I don't do the dashing of doors at all.
There is zero DoorDash or delivery where I live. Like
no, there's some spots I go to where that just doesn't exist. I'm like, fuck.
No Uber, no DoorDash.
Yeah.
None of that stuff. Like
Ryan,
if I
thanks
want food, I have to get it.
Thank you for helping us.
Thanks for cutting me off, Andy.
You're welcome. And thank you for being a badass shop consultant. Thank you for being a guitar hero, prom king, class clown.
Great. Now everyone knows.
Just an overall rad human.
Yeah. I thank you and appreciate you guys. You have my number. We have like 58 messages to respond to this Mild Boys text thing.
I know. I've been seeing them.
I saw that. Yeah.
Dude, could you just? I want to start a new one and not be involved in it because I can't keep up with how much gets texted.
Well, then don't start a new one. Like that's the whole point. Is it?
I'm saying, like, start a new one without me.
I want to start a new group chat and not do anything.
I'm going to start a new group and it's just going to be me, and I'll talk to myself about if shit's real.
That's what I'm trying to get at. That'd be great.
I like it.
All right, gentlemen.
Ryan, we love you. We'll talk to you later.
I love you guys.
Oh, we did it at the same time.